Hello! Welcome back to the next episode of Team Cobalt, the RWBY fan game project. Some of you might be wondering the exact reason why I didn't go for Jade, because I kind of glossed over it. So I tried to do Jade first, but my game kind of messed up. So I just decided, screw it, I'll start with the game with less content, and work my way through them. Day 1. I hate this stupid tie. Seriously, if you're gonna give us uniforms to wear, the least you could do is make the tie for the male version not so much of a hassle to tie up. Granted, I've never worn a tie before in my life, but still. I'm seriously considering asking one of my teammates for help. That was still a surprise for me too, being made team leader. That's a lot of responsibility being put into my hands. I just hope I'm up for the challenge. Suddenly I hear a knock on the door, and now my partner's calling out my name. Cobalt, you've been in there for a while. Is everything alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Just having some trouble with the tie. Is it safe to come in and help you, or are you still getting dressed? Since when do you care about whatever it's safe to come in, or when I'm getting changed? I don't, but Lilac and Teal are out here, and I don't want to put either of them or you in an embarrassing situation just yet. Don't put us in an embarrassing situation ever, Archon. Yeah, I'm fully clothed. Then I'm coming in. So, how do I look? Breathtaking, stunning, gorgeous, hot. I don't think there's enough words in the Vailian dictionary for me to use. I don't mind. Just keep showering me with praise and maybe kisses. That's a tempting offer. The way the uniform hugs Blaze's curves. Wait a second. The uniform is hugging her curves just a little bit too much, more than usual. Damn it, Blaze. You intentionally get a uniform that's a size smaller? Maybe I did. What are you gonna do about it, lover boy? No comment. In any case, you've made an absolute mess with your tie. I haven't noticed. Watch and learn, boyfriend. In a matter of seconds, Blaze undoes the faulty knot I had produced, and before turning to face the mirror, undoes the tie herself. How is that in the 12 months we've known each other, and the 11 that we've been dating, you don't know how to tie a tie? It never came up until now. You're just lucky that this isn't happening during our 1-year anniversary. Isn't that a month away, though? I should be ungrounded by then, so that's a plus. Very true. I paid close attention to Blaze's efforts, and she seems to be doing a better job of this than I could have accomplished before now. Then she hands the tie back to me. Your turn, Cobalt. Wish me luck. It doesn't take me long to put the tie back on, and the knot I've made is better than the one from them before. There. Not the best knot, but it'll do for a novice. How do you know so much about tying ties anyway? I've been practicing. You never know when I need to undo your tie in a hurry. Now come on, breakfast awaits. I take it that since we're all out here, we're ready to go down for breakfast? We are. Then we should get going. Hopefully they don't run out of pancakes by the time we get there. Well, let's hope Blaze and I remember what the mess hall is. Otherwise, all 4 of us are going to get lost. You okay there, Teal? I'm fine. I'm just getting used to seeing so many people my age gathered in one place. You've never been in a situation like this? Not even at school? You can call it that. I lived outside the main cities of the kingdoms in a village so small it could practically be considered a tribe. That's decidedly different from my experience growing up. I kind of grew up a lot closer to Vale City, indeed. Still, I'm glad for the opportunity to be here. Well, that's good to hear. Agreed. Even if his thoughts are being mirrored by every single other first year student here, I realized that if we could get back on track here. Anyway, our first class happens to be Grim Studies with one Professor Porter. Now, I haven't heard much of his teaching methods from my sister, but she did advise us to study hard outside of class for this one. Shocker. Like, we shouldn't be doing that anyway? No, I don't think you understand. I think he meant study harder than usual, Lilac. I did. In any case, we should probably try to sit together once we're in the classroom. That way we can compare notes when we're writing them. Not before finishing our breakfast, though. Touché. First day of school, guys. Let's try not to be late to class. We file into the half-empty classroom with a couple of other students. It's not that far off from being at class time, so why am I noticing quite a few empty seats? Whatever the case, there's plenty of room for all four of us at one of the tables, so we go to sit down. Blaze immediately goes to sit next to me, oddly enough. So, Kobo, first class at Beacon. I wonder what we're learning first. You seem quite eager to learn, Blaze. It's more about knowing how to combat Grim, so nobody can get hurt, especially if they're on my team. Oh, I see. Incoming! See, I told you we would have made it if we hurried up. Please keep your teammates from pulling such a ridiculous stunt like that again, Orc. Hey, how am I supposed to know that she just pushed us along like that? You need to stop skipping leg day, guys. Perhaps you shouldn't barrel through people, Nora. It's rare to see Pyrrha angry. It's not my fault that they were moving too slow. Can we just sit down, please? That was painful just to watch. At least nobody got seriously injured from that kerfuffle, though. I still hope they're alright. Me too. Slightly rotund man on the short side, down at the front desk in the middle of the classroom bottom area. He sports a finely trimmed mustache and wears mostly burgundy. Children, I welcome you into these halls. I think that's our Grim Studies professor. I am Professor Port. I shall be teaching you about the creatures that threaten our world. Yep, I was right. Monsters, demons, prowlers of the night. Yes, the creatures of Grim have many names, but I merely refer to them as prey. Ha ha! If only Port was this self-aware. And you shall too, upon graduating from this prestigious academy. Now, as I was saying, Vale, as well as the other three kingdoms, are safe havens in an otherwise treacherous world. Our planet is absolutely teeming with creatures that would love nothing more than to tear you to pieces. And that is where we come in. Huntsmen. Hunters. Individuals who have sworn to protect those who cannot protect themselves. From what, you may ask? The very world. Yup. What? That is what you have been training to become. But first, a story. A tale of a young, handsome man. Me. When I was a boy, despite smelling of cabbages, my grandfather was a wise man. Peter, he once told me, and I'm certain to see why Shadow told Blaze and I to study extra hard for this class. In the end, the Beowulf was no match for my sheer tenacity, and I returned to my village with the beast in captivity and my head held high, and celebrated as a hero. Many of the other classmates and I sigh in relief once Port bows. Thank goodness that is over. The moral of the story? A true huntsman must be honorable. A true huntsman must be dependable. A true huntsman must be strategic, well educated, and wise. So who amongst you believes themselves to be in the embodiment of these traits? Raise my hand. I raise my hand and call out to Professor Ford, slightly regretting this course of action. I do, sir. Well then, let's find out. Ford then gestures to. I still think this is weird. Like, a currently unidentified. We know what it is. It's a boar bust. Has that always been there? I mean, I assume like it's covered up or something bad, or like it's an exotic ground. Step forward and face your foe. I sigh as I get out of my seat and head up to the front of the class. Good luck, Cobalt. Thanks, Blaze. I think I'm going to need it. All right, let the match begin. Haha, wasn't expecting that, were you? Ah, damn it! Woohoo! What will you do now that you've been hit? Go for the belly, there's no armor underneath. Stop telling him what to do. Not helping. Nevertheless, I can't help to follow Ruby's advice with an ice crystal to the Grimm's belly. An interesting approach. I like it. Bravo! Bravo! It appears we are in the presence of a true huntsman in training. Your Grimmin knowledge has increased by 1. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Be sure to cover the assigned readings and stay vigilant. Class dismissed. My team and I stand up just in time to watch a girl dressed in white walk hurriedly toward the exit. And now Ruby's following her. If the brief confrontation I heard them having during my fight with any indication, this will probably end in tears. Jeez, what's with her? I have no idea, Mr. Tall, Blonde, and Scraggly. Hey, I'm going to make a quick detour before I head back to the next class. For one of those two, yeah, Ruby was one of the first people I became friends with since coming to Beacon. If this ends how I think it's going to end, I want to do the best I can to make her feel better. I can't fault you for that, Cobalt. Just don't take too long or we might not be able to sit together. I'm still looking for Ruby, but I haven't had much luck yet. Although I think I can hear people arguing with each other, which doesn't sound good. Why? Where's this coming from? What happened to all the talk about working together? I thought you believed in acting as a team. Not a team led by you. I've studied and trained. Quite frankly, I deserve better. Osmond made a mistake. Time to make myself known, I guess. You okay there, Ruby? Hobo? How long have you been standing there? Long enough for me to hear the last 3 sentences of the conversation? Oh. Do you think she's right about Austin making a mistake? Ruby, it's only been 1 day. It's too early for anyone to tell if Austin made a mistake making you the leader of Team Ruby. Cobalt does have a point. Ah, surprise Austin! Although it's nice to see him helping me out here. Ruby, Cobalt, I've made more mistakes than any man, woman, and child on this planet. But at this moment, I would not consider your appointment to leader as one of them. Not to mention, he saw how you performed during initiation. It tells me he thinks you have the right stuff to be leader at the very least. That or he's biased for the silver eyes. He does? Do you, Ruby? Yeah, I do. But what about Weiss? She's still my partner. And she thinks I'm not good enough to be the team leader. Then you will need to show her that you are. What do you mean? I believe I can answer that. Being a team leader isn't just a title you carry into battle, but a badge you wear constantly. If you're not performing at your best, then what reason do you have to give others to follow you? I guess that makes sense. See, that advice is a double-edged sword for Ruby in the show. As anybody who has watched it knows. Tell you what, this Sunday, let's run a team building exercise to help everyone on our teams feel more confident working with each other, as well as ourselves with the opportunity to start filling in the role of team leader. Sounds great to me. So team versus team sparring on Sunday. You got it. Let's start share scroll contacts so we can plan some more later. There we go, all set for future planning. Before you two go your separate ways, allow me to offer one last word of advice. You've both been burdened with a daunting responsibility. I advise you take some time and think about how you uphold it. I understand, Professor. See you around, Cobalt. Well, it seems like I've helped Ruby as much as I can. I should probably meet up with the rest of my team for the next class. Commendable idea, Mr. Blue. And remember that both you and Ruby can visit my office if you need further advice. I will. Until next time, Professor. Sad odds. And that's the gist of it. Ouch. On the plus side, we're going to be arranging a team versus team fight for this Sunday. Look at you taking initiative. It'll help both of us get used to the role of leader at the very least. And it'll give us practice for the team's round of the Vital Festival tournament. Even though that's not until the end of the year. I know that. So yeah, we're going to fight Cobalt's team on Sunday. Look at the day starting to turn around for you, sis. Even Weiss is a bit stuck up, and I doubt things will get much worse for you than that. Hello, young people. I forgot he's in this. Dad, what are you doing here? That's Ruby's father. Relax, girls. You're not in any trouble. I'm your substitute teacher for now. Wait, substitute? This is just a chibi episode. Oh, please, no. Good morning, everyone. Or did this come out before the chibi episode? I don't remember. Good morning, everyone. You can call me Mr. Xiaolong, or you can call me Tai. Just don't call me when I'm in the shower. I'm not here. I'm in my happy place. Substitute teacher, sir. That's right, Mr. Blue. Beacon's borrowing me for a short while until they can get a replacement. I'm a fully qualified huntsman, though, and have plenty of experience teaching at Signal Academy. I'm also a father and have plenty of practice dealing with troublemakers, so be warned. Somebody kill me and make it fast. Alright, now that the introductions are out of the way, let's jump right in. What can you tell me about Aura? Enable semblances? That's correct, but not the full answer. Anything else? It acts as an armor for us? That's another use of it. Yes, but it's still only partially right. It does indeed protect us from damage like armor, but it can only do so while it's active. It does more than that, though. It also helps you maintain our body overall. That's why lack of aura not only leaves you vulnerable to physical attacks, but also sickness as well. This natural armor allows you to do things otherwise impossible, from as mundane as recovering quickly from a cold to allowing one to obliterate an object, like a cinder block, while leaving one's leg intact. Quite a feat, don't you think? God damn it, he even makes terrible puns like Yang. But beyond that, your aura and semblance are tied to you as a person. Your body, your aura, and semblance are all part of you. And as the strength of you, your semblance to yourself as a whole. But you don't exactly know the true nature of aura and semblance, it is vital to understand them. Some say that your semblance is a reflection of your personality, or your will and desires in life, and your aura naturally can be strengthened to reflect this as well. I'll try to explain that concept in depth next class, but regardless of whatever you found your semblance already or not, understanding the power and abilities of aura is the best way to further your training, and understanding its limits is the best way to survive. But in any case, aura can do more than protect the body and power special abilities. It can also enhance the user's physical attributes and concentration of it in certain areas can further increase those attributes. Now then, I'm used to teaching at a younger level than Beacon, so I want to see where you all are at in terms of aura and aura control. Everyone, so break off into groups of four for an exercise in aura concentration. I want one person in each group to concentrate their aura on a body part, and everyone else in the group will match their focus. And don't just break off into your teams yet. Mix it up a little. Make some new friends. I guess we'll split up into partners then. Seeing as your boyfriend is your partner, I never said my decision wasn't biased. As long as you don't do anything to embarrass us. I swear I won't do anything to embarrass you. Only Cobalt. Okay, we're going to find another pair to work with now. Once you found a group to work with, you may begin the exercise. As Blaze and I get to our new seats, we take a good look of who we gotten as group mates. Pyrrha and John. Oh my god, this is tall, blonde, and straggly, and one rather impressive looking girl. Judging by the way she carries herself, she's no amateur. Although I'm starting to suspect there may be something else going on if 90% of the people I'm meeting at Beacon are attractive like this. Hello, I'm Cobalt, and this is my girlfriend Blaze. Hello. Hi there, my name's John Ard. Short, sweet, rolls off the tongue. And I'm Pyrrha. It's a pleasure to meet you. Likewise, Pyrrha. I heard you guys were the first ones to find relics in the initiation. You guys move fast. Unlike you guys, Deathstalker? Really? Well, what can we say? We're overachievers, that's for sure. Yes, I'm fairly certain anyone who was accepted into Beacon would pull off similarly impressive. I don't know why I don't know if she's like trying to downplay her abilities at this moment, or if it's implying she knows that John already. Why does she look so nervous all of a sudden? Now that we've all introduced ourselves, shall we get on with the exercise? An excellent suggestion, Cobalt. I'll start off. Pyrrha starts concentrating her aura towards her hand without any trouble at all, almost as if it's coming naturally to her. I take it you've been training before coming to Beacon? Oh, clearly I've startled them both. Why? Are you serious right now? You actually don't know me? What do you mean? Should I know you? No, it's just, I'm kind of used to people knowing who I am. John was one of the first people at Beacon who didn't. I see. Although, to be fair, John did seem oblivious to what the Beacon initiation was. You're not wrong. I take it you're some kind of celebrity? You don't know either? I've kind of been traveling up for most of my teenage years. I see. But yes, you could say I am. I won the Miss Trial Regional Tournament 4 years in a row and graduated top of my class back at Sanctum. Ah, that must make it problematic to find people who want to be your friends with you and not the idea of you. Yes. Well, we could try to be friends. I think that sounds like a wonderful idea, Cobalt. As long as we make an effort to actually try to get to know each other, I think we'll be able to call me a real friend in time. That seems fair to me, Cobalt. Then it's settled. The four of us are now friends. The 4 of you are also on the path to detention if you don't get on with your exercise. As good as it is to see you making new friends, it's not a good idea to let it distract you. Sorry, Professor. Before let's get back to the exercise, not wanting to risk Professor Xiaolong's tire. Your aura knowledge is increased by 1. Okay then, that's class. I want all the knowledge that all of you have done well for this day. Some of you might still need a little practice, but all of your potentials are high. I can't wait to see where it takes you. I want you to continue with these basic exercises for at least half an hour every day for the next week. Class dismissed. We should be getting back to our teammates now. And we should be getting back to ours. It was nice meeting you both. Same here, John and Pyrrha. They seem nice. Yeah, although John seemed a bit nervous at times. Yeah, and his aura control was weird too. Weird? Yeah, it was like he barely had any experience in using it, but he had a lot of it. From what I saw of the glow around him. Another of life's great mysteries, huh? Why are we here? Life's great mysteries. No, I meant, why are we in the middle of this canyon? Right alongside why we're here. Metaphysically or in the classroom. Either one is fine. So immediately teaming up with arguably the best and worst members of the class, bold. Oh hey guys, what did you mean best and worst in the class? Well, Pure Nico shouldn't need any explanation, just about everyone knows the 4-time Regional Tournament winner. She's the only person to win it 4 times consecutively, in fact. That explains why she was so nervous. Wait, you two didn't know that? She became famous enough to put on the Pumpkin Heat cereal box. Even if you didn't know who she was by name, surely you must have seen that. Now that you mention it, I guess she does look vaguely familiar. Although, in my defense, I'm not really a cereal eater. To be honest, I don't know about her either. Well, after you told us this over there a minute ago, I'm not surprised. Huh? What did he tell you? Details about his home. I'll tell you about them later. So how do you know so much about Pyrrha, Lilac? It's nothing special, really. My father is in the Elysian military. He thought it was a good idea to keep an eye on various tournaments around the world, study other huntsmen's fighting styles as a form of tactical training. And apart from certain specialists, Pyrrha just happened to be a bit closer to the home than most, and with her becoming so famous so quickly, it was easy to watch her and her opponents. Few of her are on her skill level, 2 of which being Hathaway Nova and Nebula Violetta, 2 tournament winners from Vacuo, though neither have managed to best her in a duel. Okay, I know one of those because I think that's part of Team Indigo. But I don't remember the other one. I think that's a character added in this game. I might need to pick your brain about some of those details later. Feel free. Tactics are one of my favorite topics. There's the good news, and there's bad news. Well, there aren't 4... Okay, I'm not crazy, right? Like, it's just doing all the classes is at once. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Well, there aren't 4 neighboring seats left in this class. There's still at least 2 seats left together. I take it that we're sitting together, Cobalt. I don't see why not, Blaze. I guess I'll see you 2 at lunch then. See you later, Cobalt. Oh dear. I'm not sure where we ended up. The girl who was having that fight with Ruby earlier. Weiss, I think her name was. And now she spotted me looking at her. This is going to suck. Look, I know I'm not exactly an unknown person, what with my singing career and what my father does for a living. I beg your pardon. But do you really have to stare at me like that? Well, if you gave my boyfriend 5 minutes to explain why he was looking at you in the first place, even though he's not entirely being faithful to you by looking at other women, he doesn't even seem like good boyfriend material, considering he's staring at the Harris to the Sneed Dust Company. It wouldn't be the first time someone was after me for the perks of my last name either. Now listen here, you flat-chested. Time out! Before either girl can respond, I quickly dart my hand to cover Blaze's mouth before turning back to Weiss. See, that tells me she said that to someone before. Look, there's clearly been a misunderstanding. Until a few seconds ago, I only knew you as someone who was on Ruby Rose's team and had arguments with her after sports class. But in any case, I apologize for staring and upsetting you. I only hope that you and Ruby have had a chance to talk since then. To make up since then. I see. I suppose that explains the staring, even if I have no idea who you are. I'm Cobalt. I'm a new friend of Ruby's, and we started making plans to have our team spar on Sunday. Cobalt Blue, of Team Cobalt. Yep. You paid attention to the team forming ceremony yesterday then? Indeed. It's not just to make your acquaintance, Cobalt, especially if you are to be sparring against each other this weekend. Likewise, Weiss. I'm going to make an educated guess to say it's Weissney. It is. Although I have some serious questions about how you didn't know I was the Harris. I'm Harris to the Sneed Dust Company. I don't exactly read the business section of Blaze. Why? QS on onto e gota. What did she do? She licked my hand. How vulgar. I opened my mouth to say something, but were interrupted by a woman in a lab coat enters the room. Good morning to you all, children. My name is Professor Peach, and I will be your dust instructor for the next 4 years. God's damn it, even some of the teachers are good looking. What is wrong? What is going on in this school? Now I understand that your Grim and history teachers take a theoretical approach to the curriculum. I'm more of a practical teacher. Have we done history yet? I don't. Practical, Professor Peach. Indeed, Mr. Blue, wasn't it? Many teachers would go for the textbook study on the nature of dust and its various uses on the battlefield. I prefer to practice with dust, to study its mysteries and experiment for educational purposes. That's an interesting approach, Professor. Thank you, Miss Schnee. Now, if all of you could make your way down to the front of the class, and I'll start off with something nice and easy. Your dust knowledge has increased by 1. Oh, that's all the time we have for today. Make sure you report on dust use next week. I'm looking forward to reading them all. I go back to my seat only to be interrupted by Weiss. Look, we clearly got off on the wrong foot earlier, and seeing that we've been sparring against each other on Sunday, I feel it would be better to clear the air. I accept your apology for staring at me earlier, and I apologize for accusing you of being unfaithful to your girlfriend and assuming that you were interested in the perks of my last name. But you aren't, right? No. Just making sure. Now, if only you could do that for a certain blonde. And I've gotten someone who needs a bit of an apology of her own. Blaze, I'm sorry for insulting you in your chest, Weiss. Apology accepted, Miss Blaze, wasn't it? Blaze Archon. Yeah. Now, if we could all agree to get along with each other more amicably in the future. I can agree with that. So can I. Good to hear. See you around then, Weiss. Goodbye, you two. Event still to be added. Which basically means future updates they will add more. But they haven't but like the game is on hiatus right now, but there's still plenty of content at the moment. Combat class. The one class we don't have to be in uniform for, but we have to been instructed to bring our weapons to this class. which isn't a bad thing exactly, but the fact that it's being taught by Professor Goodwitch leaves me a tiny bit nervous. Alright, Team Cobalt, do you think we're sparring against anyone in this class? I doubt it. I expect we'll be going over the combat rules in this class, so this doesn't just evolve into anarchy. I mean, you're both right. You may have a point, Lilac. It is at this moment that she walks in and the entire classroom falls silent. Good morning, children. I see you've all brought your weapons today. As instructed, good. Make that into a habit, as you will need them for this class in the future. We won't be sparring today, as I will need time to go over the rules which all the spars follow for the next 4 years. You will all be fighting in one-on-one rounds this semester, with additional combatants being open to participate in spars in future semesters. That makes sense? You will lose the match if you fall below the aura threshold and or you are knocked out of the fighting arena. Aw, that's no fun. Attacking the opponent after a match has been called will result in punishment. How severe this punishment is will depend on the outcome of your act. So basically, like, if you, depending on how badly you hurt the person, right? Now, we have that out of the way. This will be the arena you fight in during a spar. You'll be unable to see your fellow classmates during a match, but they will be able to see you. This is meant to give duelists the illusion of being entirely on their own. This will more often than not be the case when fighting against the Grim as well. Much like initiation, in these cases you must destroy all opposition, or else you will be killed. Most likely, horrifically. Well, now then, if you could all step down and follow me, I will take you to the locker. Oh god, is it going to show what I think it is? Now, many of you were here over the course of the weekend, but this is the locker room. You will have time to get changed in and out of your uniforms before and after combat class. The locker rooms, as you already know, are unisex and come equipped with washroom facilities. Now, each of you will be assigned one rocket-propelled locker to store your weapons and extra armor. Additionally, your locker can be sent to a custom location based on 6-digit code. John, why are you standing next to that idiot? What? No, wait, you gotta get me out of here! Please don't do it! Oh, come on! Arden Winchester. Oh, crap. Under no circumstances are you supposed to send students flying out of the school in one of those lockers. Tell that to Kira. You will be serving detention for that and helping retrieve the locker from wherever it ends up. Professor, is John going to be okay? Mr. Arch should be fine. While such an experience is unpleasant, it's survivable. I was more worried about the fact if he landed on the Emerald Forest without his weapon. One moment. Fortunately, he did not get sent into the forest. He just got sent into Vale. Which will keep Mr. Winchester attending Beacon. This is why you are not subject students to this kind of behavior. Damn, if only... Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Now, as I was saying, the lockers can be sent to a custom location based on 6-digit code, which can be entered either on the lockers themselves or through an app on your scroll, in case we need them unexpectedly. Indeed, Mr. Blue, I don't anticipate you'll need them on school grounds, but it may be necessary while on field trips or dealing with sudden situations that develop themselves. Like a certain scenario, so to speak. And that is the first bell. As you will have noted on your scrolls, you will have 1 hour to engage in self-directing sparring. You may opt to pursue sparring with your teammates or other students, depending on whoever is willing. Remember to bring your weapons tomorrow, students, as you will need them for when you start sparring. Mr. Winchester, you will accompany me to Vale. We have a retrieval mission to make. I'm okay. I didn't land far from the school. Damn it, there are no neighboring seats left. I guess we spent too much time getting to class after sparring. Looks like we'll have to make some new friends, huh? Sounds good to me. See you after class, you three. I find an empty seat near one of the bottom rows on the right of someone I know. Hello, Yang. You're not sitting with your team? Oh, hey, Blue Boy. And not this time. Arrived late? Yeah. We spent the past hour listening to Ruby talk to us about how both of our teams are going to face off each other this Sunday. Speaking of which, I hope you're prepared to have your butt kicked. Don't be so sure of victory, Xiaolong. Just saying, the odds are against you. We'll see. Anyway, history of Remnant. Any idea what the professor's like? I mean, Professor Oobleck, I think it was. That sounds like him, so I have no idea. Hopefully he isn't as eccentric as a good afternoon to you all, students. I'm Professor Oobleck. Port. What the heck was that? I turned to observe the bottom of the classroom where the stage has been taken by a green and white blur, who I guess was the source of the white noise from before. My god, that's our Professor Anthony. Today, children, we will be reviewing the history of the Great War and exactly what started it. I think it's best to start taking notes, Yang. Fast. My poor wrist. Oh, Cora, why don't you protect me from this? It's almost over. Try to resist. Once Mantle declared art and other forms of self-expression illegal, Mistral soon followed suit, hoping to continue the alliance with them. Interestingly, the Mistralian leaders were rather hypocritical in their enforcement of the new law, not choosing to enforce it within certain powers. The Kingdom of Vale, however, were of course appalled by such an action, though many did not find it surprising due to the two nations' known labor camps and their incessant cultural superiority over the other kingdoms. This cultural rivalry came to a head during the Riot Sanzu, where settlers from both Vale and Mistral were both begrudgingly inhabiting a shared space. The already high tensions between the two kingdoms, combined with the close proximity of the two conflicting cultures, erupted into a brief skirmish between the settlers. The identity of who exactly initiated the incident has been lost to history, although the consequences of it changing the world. This one event is now known as the opening act of one of, if not the darkest period in recorded history, the Great War. Yeah, I should probably write this down. Your historical knowledge has increased by 1. And that is all the time we have for today, children. Our first few weeks will be spent covering the Great War in more detail. Have a nice day. That was an experience. He does seem like a good professor, even if he's a fast talker. A very fast talker. I wish he didn't go so hard to follow at times. Well, I guess we can think of it as training. If we can ever get to the point where we can pick up what he's saying, we can pick up anything. That's one way to look at it, Blue Boy. Is it that, or it must be some magical brew he's drinking? Woo! Classes are finally done. Finally. They seem to go on forever. We had better get used to this. It's only the start of the year and the classes don't get any shorter. Thanks, Lilac. What did the three of you want to do with the rest of your afternoon? I'm not sure yet. I'm thinking of going into Vales and stocking up on supplies for Dorm and ourselves. But I won't be able to join you. I'm still grounded. We can always do something when I get back, Blaze. I'm not even sure I am going into Vale today. You might be grounded, but there's still plenty of things I can do at Beacon. I'm probably going to practice with my weapon out in the courtyard for a bit, for one. Is it cool if I tag along with you? If you want to, then sure. I'll be working on the gym. Then it looks like we're all going to be busy this afternoon, no matter what I do. Wait, does that mean the dorm will be empty? It gives me some ideas for if Cobalt hangs out with me this afternoon. Gods damn it, Arshin. Congratulations, you've reached the main part of Cobalt. From now on, you will be able to see 3 different kinds of story events. Main story events. These are unchangeable events that will happen automatically, progress the main story, and or introduce new characters. These are route events. These are events tied to characters you've already met outside of Team Cobalt and will progress their own personal routes. You can make them happen on Saturdays, provided you meet certain conditions first. Extra events. These are events that will give you special items and increase your stats or introduce new characters and routes. Most will happen by being in the right place at the right time or on the right day. But some may also require meeting certain conditions or a bit of luck. Outside of these, visiting certain locations at certain times will allow you to spend your time and engage in various activities. They will raise your stats, obtain money, and knowledge, and items. Many of these locations are in Vale City, which have now been unlocked. This gives you an extra 4 areas to check out, and with the 5th being unlocked in the second half of the year. On an additional note, shopping won't advance your time unless you trigger an event. Have fun in the world's Cobalt, but remember, you only have 238 days. And some of those are plot days. Curious. No, we're not doing the boom. God damn it. The Vale City store for the Sneak Dust Company. Well, one of them, anyway. Looks like they're looking to hire a security guard. Might be good and to inquire into a part-time position, even if the company's business practices leave a lot to be desired. Welcome to the Sneak Dust store. How may I help you? Hello? I'm here to inquire about a part-time security job. You look a little less buff than what could be for the intimidation factor, but you do seem to have your aura unlocked. Yes, ma'am. I'm a Beacon student. I see. It's unorthodox to do this without going for the usual hiring process. But we need a security guard yesterday. I can give you a trial run this afternoon and see how you do, but no promises after that. Understood, ma'am. Just tell me what I need to do. I suddenly find the shop manager handing me a baton from under the counter. Take this and stand near the exit. Sit. Don't let anyone steal anything, and that goes double for any armed goon. No kidding. Yes, ma'am. It's now closing time. There hasn't been any trouble in the store this afternoon. I think the shop manager is giving me a slightly impressed look, but I can't tell for sure. Not bad. Of course, that wasn't as bad as a night as it has been recently. So I haven't gotten a proper test of your skills under a stressful situation, but I don't see any reason not to hire you for now. We'll work the night shifts. Come in when you're free and bring your weapon. Why would I need to bring? You're an idiot. Yes, ma'am. Hold out your scroll, please. I hold out my scroll, and the shop manager does the same, swinging her own device horizontally above mine. Here you go, your first payment. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to close the shop for the night. See you soon. Yeah, the start of these games are always slow because you have basically nothing open to you. Beacon Gym, it's time to finally put all this equipment to use. Doesn't look like I'm alone either. I can see someone else getting ahead with their training. Pump. That had to be Blaze doing that, or I need to have words with someone. Guess who? Thank goodness. Blaze, maybe warn me before you do that. But your reactions are just the best. I'm not going to dignify that with a response. You just did. Anyway, I'll take it. Get that you're here for some training too? Yes, I am. I could use a training partner though. Glad to hear it. What should we train today, boyfriend? Your fitness level has increased by 5. Thanks, Blaze. Hey, anything to get us both in the shower? Walked right into it, didn't I? Yes, you did. Gotten late, we should get back to the room. Not before that shower though, lover boy. Good morning, Cobalt. You seem well rested. I have you to thank for that. Now it's time to get up. February 5th, Tuesday, day 2. Alright, Team Cobalt, time to show the rest of our year what we can do. And expect that we'll be putting in the same amount of effort that we had to be back in the Emerald Forest. I know I will be, as will the rest of us, Lilac. Mr. Blue, if you would please come down. Yes, Miss Goodwitch. Make us proud, Cobalt. Keep calm and remember your training. Quite well, Cobalt. Now for your opponent, Mr. Wren. As I turn to face my opponent, I find that this Wren is a fan of green, what looks like a strand of pink in his hair. And he's also just as attractive as everyone else I've met in this school. Is this a combat academy or a school for becoming total knockouts? Why, Wren, it's nice to make your acquaintance. Cobalt Blue, and likewise, why, I prefer Wren. We shake hands before Wren pulls out a pair of what I can only describe as pistols with sickle-like blades attached vertically under the barrels as he gets ready to attack. Way up in the stands, I hear someone cheering. Wren. It sounds like the girl who caused the kerfuffle in sports class. Break a leg, Wren! I shift into a low stance, ready stance, and aim my assault rifle at Wren, ready to open fire as soon as the match starts. Break a leg, Wren. Okay, I'm not crazy, right? It is repeating some of this stuff. I prefer Ren. Lie Ren. That's... What the hell? As I turn to face... I shift into a low, ready stance and aim my assault rifle on my mark. Begin. You may have a great semblance, friend, But you have a really bad weapon. It's only really sentimental. I probably could have won before. Oh yeah, I definitely could have won that last round, but that's quite enough. Students, as you can see, Mr. Ren's aura has now dropped into the red. In a tournament-style duel, this would indicate that he's no longer fit for battle and that the official may call the match. Despite the fact that Mr. Blue's weapon of choice does not leave him with much options in terms of close-quarter fights, he was able to overcome the odds and emerge victorious. As huntsmen and huntresses, all of you will be placed in situations where the odds are not in your favor. If you expect to survive these situations, you must follow his example, overcome the obstacle, and win. Well fought, Cobalt. Same in that regards to you, Ren. Ren lost? Yes, Nora. Not everyone wins a sparring match for all the time. But it's Ren. He's like a ninja with dagger pistols. But this guy only got the assault rifle for a weapon. This bears further investigation. Nora, please don't do anything rash. For the next mashup, Miss Rose and Mr. Winchester. I wish we could see Ruby just annihilate Cardin. So yeah, I had forgotten about this. At one of the updates they made it so that all the classes are in one day, like a typical school, but not every day has the same level of classes because they need to be updated, or some days that just have less interesting stuff to talk about. And it doesn't matter where I go. Now hold on a mister. Ah, where the heck did she come from? I have some serious questions for you, and I won't rest until I get the answers. Question number 1. What kind of ammo are you using in that gun? Explosive tip bullets? Anti-aura bullets? No, that would result in Ren getting hurt. Maybe it's your semblance. Nora? Yes, Ren? I don't think Cobalt had any tricks up his sleeve. I can't expect to win every fight, Nora, no matter how highly you think of me. But dagger pistols! I am completely lost at this point. Hello, Cobalt. This is Nora, my best friend. She's more like the Mantillian Inquisition. Nobody expects the Mantillian Inquisition. Yes. Yep, Ren and I have been together for years. Well, not together. Not that I'm not saying Ren is handsome. He's not handsome. He is handsome. It'd be weird, right? No weirder than Blaze and I, Nora. Anyway, sorry about dumping a million questions on you. It's fine, just unexpected. Just like the Mantillian Inquisition. Nobody expects the Mantillian Inquisition. Well, I'm glad that was all cleared up. Just don't expect me to go easy on you if I end up sparring you. Duly noted. See you around, Cobalt. Sorry about that. She's rather free-spirited. No harm done, Ren. That's good to hear. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go after her and take a long nap. That was weird. Fun. Weird. Your overall studies. Oh, wait. Get some studying. I have a couple of hours to kill before the library closes up for the night, so I should be able to get at least some studying done before then. Personally, I think it might be good to prioritize Grimm studies and history first. I can barely get anything out of Port's purple purrs and Oobleck. Well, there's probably a lot of gaps I've missed during his fast lectures, but I just digress, and I just take a couple books from each subject and find it nice to get started. I think this will do. There aren't as many tables here, so it should be nice and peaceful study session. Excuse me. Huh? Weiss! Hello, Weiss. Something I can help you with? I was just wondering if you happen to be reading the Grimm of Eastern Sanus textbook Professor Force assigned to us for homework? Actually, I am. Were you hoping to borrow it after I was done? I was indeed. All the other copies in the library seem to be loaned out already. I see. Sure, you can borrow it after I'm done with it. Thank you, Kobold. I shall return it later this evening. Actually, I just had an idea. If we're both wanting to get the homework done for the same class, perhaps we should study together. There's definitely plenty of room at the table. It would let me get started much sooner than I was expecting to. However, it's nothing. If you're capable of taking this study session seriously, then I would certainly appreciate having somebody around to proofread my notes. Not that they need proofreading, of course. Of course. Then feel free to pull up a chair and we can get started. We have a lot of ground to cover, especially considering how Professor Port classes go. While I reluctantly admit that some of Professor Port's lectures are not always informative, I do find that there are tidbits of helpful information about the Grimm he mentions in his stories. Let me pull out my notes and explain what I mean. Oh, the library's already about to close? I guess we got distracted by studying, huh? Quiet. Still, I'm quite pleased. Pleased with the amount of progress we made today. Thank you for that, Kobold. You turned out to be a surprisingly good study partner today. Surprisingly good? My pleasure, Weiss. Perhaps we can take this up again sometime. That sounds like a good idea. I usually study here in the afternoons, and you're welcome to join me whenever you feel like, provided I'm not too busy already, of course. I might take you up on that offer, but for now, we should get back to the library and chase this out light. Until next time, Kobold. Hello again, Kobold. I take it you want to get in some training? Indeed I do. Your fitness level has increased by 5. Thanks, Pyrrha. You're welcome, Kobold. It's gotten late. I should head back to the dorm. Good morning, Kobold. You seem well rested. I have you to thank for that. And now it's time to get up. February 6th, Wednesday, day 3. And before we begin class, I'm going to call it a part there.